Good day. Welcome to the spring edition of Inside Putnam Valley Schools. I'm Eric Gross, your host, along with Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jeremy Luft. Good seeing you, sir.
Welcome. It's been too long.
Yeah, I know that. It's been a mild winter, thank goodness.
It has. We almost made it through without any snow
Almost
days.
made it through. How did we make out with snow days this year?
We ended up using two.
Yeah.
A couple of late storms that came through, but I'm a snow lover, so I was okay with it. But I'm sure some would have rather used those 2 days around Memorial Day, but
Yes.
it is what it is.
All right, it is what it is. We have a jam-packed show for you today. We're going to be talking about the 23-24 budget, a new production that will be played later in April. We're going to talk to some of the young thespians and talking to the athletic director here in the Putnam Valley Schools about the state runner-up champions, Putnam Valley ladies basketball team. Before we do that, though, how are things around Putnam Valley these days?
Things are going well. There's always much to be proud of around here in Putnam Valley, and I think tonight's show will highlight many of those great things that are going on.
You know, for a small district, there's so many positive things taking place.
Yeah, it's truly a compliment to our teachers, our students, our families, and our community for the support they provide us that allows us to do what we do.
Shall we break away and talk to some young ladies?
Yes, let's hear what they have
Let's
to say.
do that right now. The big show's coming up the end of the month. Take a look-see. The play is called Something Rotten. We're talking about the Putnam Valley High School spring musical production. And with us today are three members of that play. We have Reese Emery, who is a member of the cast, and the people behind the stage are practically just important as those in front of the stage, Jackie Gamero and Sophia Goncalves. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for having
Tell us
us.
something about Something Rotten.
Well, it's a very funny show. I think I like it a lot because it's something that everyone kind of enjoys. There's a lot of jokes that you only get if you understand the theater references. You'll get it because you're an adult. If you're a kid, they might go over your head. But I think it's something that everyone enjoys. The music is really good, the dancing is fun, and I think it's just a very fun and energetic show.
I did some homework before our filming today, and according to the playbill, it says the story was set in 1595. Follows the Bottom brothers, Nick and Nigel, who struggle to find success in the theatrical world as they compete with the wild popularity of their contemporary William Shakespeare. That's quite a storyline.
It is.
A lot of fun, though.
It is, yes.
A lot of work behind the scenes, too.
Yes, it's a very props-heavy show, so there's a lot of moving parts. But it keeps us busy behind the scenes. It's the show's slowly coming together. It's looking amazing so far. All of the rehearsals are slowly coming together. It's great. A very lively show. A lot of tap dancing, which yes, it's I'm not familiar with tap dancing, so it's very interesting to watch.
How many members are behind the scenes?
This year, I believe we have 35 members on the crew altogether. So definitely a lot of helping
35
hands backstage.
members. That's a
doing lot of
major
the work.
production.
Yes, we also have 30 cast members, so it's
And 30 cast members.
yes.
What kind of rehearsals? How do they come out?
Well, I think this is, right now it's when we all come together and we kind of run the show. After break we have Tech Week, which is when we work with the crew members and the professionals. It's definitely a little stressful to balance school and this, but it's just so fun. My favorite part is that the cast and TheaterWorks itself is just such a great community, and you always have someone there. You make so many new friends from new grades, and that's what I love about it a lot.
And of course, the theater at the Putnam Valley High School, probably the best in Putnam County.
Yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful
Yeah,
theater.
we're really
100%.
lucky. Yeah.
Music as well.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, it's going really well.
Yeah,
You
we,
mentioned you said professionals.
Yeah. Well, we work with
We have a few professionals that come in. So for our set building, we have a set building crew. So like different students are able to stay after school and get community service by building our set. And we have a set designer that comes in. She's wonderful. She plans out the set and teaches all the different like kids who are learning about like building. I can tell you I did not know much about it before. And now I'm like so grateful that we have it. We have our sound designer that comes in. He's also amazing. He comes in just during Tech Week and amazing job with all the sound effects and microphones. We have a lighting designer come in. He's not actually there for the show, but he helps like the students who work in the lighting crew like plan it all out, which is awesome. And we have our costumes designer, who's actually our very own Mrs. Fry. And she is doing an amazing job with the costumes. They are awesome.
Yeah, this is set in the Renaissance era, so the costumes are all so cool and fun.
Yes, they're fun for sure.
Yes.
The show takes place the end of April.
Yes, it does.
April 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Yes.
7 o'clock on Friday and Saturday, matinee Sunday at 2.
Yep.
How can people get tickets?
They go on sale, I believe, on Monday.
Okay.
And you're able to find it on the district website.
Okay.
And there should be a link there. I'm sure there's a ton of information about it. The posters are starting to go up around town, so if you see those, I believe there's a QR code that you can scan, which will lead you right to the website. And they're also, I believe, going around the school sometime either today or when we get back.
I love talking to thespians, as you can see why. They are the best. Something Rotten comes to Putnam Valley the end of the month, 28th, 29th, and 30th. Be there. Buy those tickets today. Ladies, thank you.
Thank you.
Jeremy and I will be right back. May 16th is the big day for school districts around New York State. That's budget time, when residents and school communities are asked to get out and vote on their school budgets. Putnam Valley's no different. Jeremy, tell us about it.
Yeah, like we do every year, we're trying to balance our academic needs and programmatic needs that we know will greatly benefit students with obviously the financial needs of our community members. And I think this year, like we do every year, we were able to find a balance between those priorities, and I'm very happy with the budget we were able to put together.
Jill Figarella stopped by to talk about the budget. Let's take a look-see. Residents in the Putnam Valley School District will be going to the polls on May 16th to vote on a $58.45 million budget, a budget that's up by 2.45%. Jeremy, Jill Figarella, the business manager, with us today to explain the budget to you folks out there. And Jill, how did the budget process go this year?
Well, it went pretty smoothly. You know, we met with all of our department heads, and we put together what we think is a fiscally responsible budget for the Putnam Valley residents, you know, balancing program and tax levy considerations. So I think it went pretty smoothly.
A little different this year with foundation aid coming back. That helped Putnam Valley, didn't it?
Yeah, it was nice that New York State fulfilled their promise they made many years ago and able to
Many years ago,
and was able to fully fund foundation aid, and the district relies heavily on that foundation aid. While we're not getting all the money, the back money we missed, being made whole this year provides us the first opportunity in many, many years to balance our budget without the need to use our reserves. And the nice part about that is if we're not using our reserves to balance our budget, we could use reserves for their intended purpose. And we have a project scheduled here at the high school this summer to replace a large portion of the roof. And we're able to do that with use of our reserves as opposed to needing to go out to the community and asking their permission to borrow money to complete that work, which is typically how it would have worked in the past.
Jill, go over some of the highlights for us.
So some of the highlights, you're going to see a budget-to-budget increase of about 4.7%, where the tax levy is the 2.4%. So the budget-to-budget is larger than the tax levy increase because we are bringing in money from our debt reserve to cover some of our debt so that we can leave some of the budget to pay for the roof. So there's $1.5 million of that 4.7% increase, which brings the actual increased budget to budget for program and regular expenditures down to 2.2%. And not 2.2, I'm sorry, 2.03%. So in reality, the 4.7 is not a true budget to budget. It's because of that one item that we're bringing into the 1.5 million to fund the roof expenditure.
We know that Putnam Valley offers a fantastic education. What is the cost per student?
So cost per student in Putnam Valley as compared to surrounding school districts and the state level of cost per student is rather interesting, because we have neighboring district like Lakeland School District who is similar to our cost per student, and our cost is $25,916, where theirs is $25,619. But this goes back a year because our statistics are a year old, and Lakeland is in a situation where they have a lot of commercial property support to their tax base, where we don't. So I would say that our cost per student is, we're keeping it at a low level that is comparable to the remainder of the state, which is not easy to say for a lot of districts, because we are in the lower portion or the southern tier of the of the state, and the northern tier or the western tier of the state is a much lower budgets that they deal with. And on average statewide, the cost per student is about $23,000. So being in that range, I feel very comfortable and responsible with our budget.
What other highlights are there in this budget for this year, Jeremy?
Well, I think as always, we look to balance our staffing, our programs, and obviously the burden it places on our taxpayers. And we're happy to announce that this budget maintains all of our programs, as well as some enhancements along the way. We're beginning implementation of the middle years program in the middle school. We have a new reading program and some other curricular changes at the elementary school. The high school is continuing to move forward with its diploma program, including the implementation of a new IB dance class. So programmatically, we continue to increase our rigor, engagement, and making sure we have relevant content for students to learn. We're looking to add a couple of staff members, including another E&L teacher to provide support in both the elementary and the middle school, as well as a library clerk to fulfill a need at the elementary school in the library.
And what about infrastructure? Jeremy mentioned the new roof going on at the high school. Anything else in the budget?
As far as infrastructure goes, no, right now that's the project that we have going on. We just came off of the big project that we did in all three campuses for 14.8, and that's all been buttoned up and finished. We have some smaller projects throughout the district, inside and outside. That is a constant thing that goes on in districts, that we have to upkeep the facilities as best we can, but no major projects going on right now. What I did want to mention is the tax cap, though, and that, we're staying under that tax cap. I know we didn't talk about it yet, but it's, like we said, 2.45 is the tax levy increase.
Right.
Our available cap is 2.5, so we're just under that. And I'm happy to say that historically we have never had to go out with a budget that was over the tax cap. So we're staying fiscally responsible in that area. And our big increase in the budget this year, the big ticket item is our health benefits. And we're seeing, and it's not just because of what we went through with COVID. It's been, it's been up and coming for, I would say, the last 10 years. Those costs have been rising, and not just for school districts, but for private sector as well. And as we move forward in years to come and planning for that, that's something we have to take a look at seriously and work with our bargaining units to try to relieve some of that stress, but also help them understand what those implications are for the budget going forward.
Well, anyone out there watching this program today knows the cost of health insurance. You have to pay for it yourself. It is getting more and more expensive.
Right.
And of course, school districts feel the pain, the pinch as well.
That's correct. Yeah, we certainly are.
Okay, Jeremy, what else do you want to say about the budget, besides urging people to get out and vote on the 16th?
Yeah, I think that's our continuous message is to everyone to exercise their democratic right to come out and vote. When we look at the statistics, a very small percentage of our community comes out and votes. The same holds true for even parents of school-age children. A very small population of them come out and vote. And obviously, the more people that come out, the better the message will receive. And we're hopeful that message is one of supportive of the school district. But obviously, we want everyone to take their opportunity to cast their vote.
This year on the ballot, there's going to be a Putnam Valley Library item. Tell us about that.
So the Putnam Valley Town Library normally draws from their budget from the town, town of Putnam Valley. They're exercising what they call
Section 259.
Right, Section 259, and that allows them to put a proposition on the school ballot so that they can increase their budget if they'd like. They've gone, I guess, to the town at this point, and they get their normal budgeted monies from them. What this does is just creates an avenue for them to ask for additional funds if they need it. The town is not willing to raise the budget at this time, so by exercising that right, they can put a newly adopted amount in there for their budget for needs, infrastructure, and whatnot. I know the director of the library has come and spoken at our board meetings about it and the reasons for those increases and what they're looking for. By putting it on the ballot, it simply creates what we call, we become a collection agency, let's say, for their taxes. And it has nothing to do with the school budget at all. And their budget has nothing to do with, the school, and the school budget has nothing to do with that.
They're just piggybacking.
That's right. And we just collect the funds. We
Okay.
give them to them to use. But it does appear on the school tax bill.
Would you folks
So this is
understand
why
that?
it's worth mentioning,
Yeah.
because it's not something that's going through the school budget, but it's something that is, because it's on the ballot, it becomes part of the tax bill that we issue for school taxes, and it'll be a separate line on there, and people should recognize that it is a separate item and it is a separate budget from the school.
Voting 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Putnam Valley Elementary School.
Okay.
Thank
Get
you.
out and vote. Very important. Exercise your right. May 16th, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Putnam Valley Elementary School. Please get out and vote. Jill, good seeing you again.
You too. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you so much for joining us for this segment. Jeremy and I will be right back. You know, I could still hear the cheering from the residents of Putnam Valley when those girls won Albany. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, for the second year in a row, our girls basketball team was able to take us on a pretty exciting ride all the way up to the state tournament, and we made it one step further, and unfortunately didn't accomplish our true goal, but much to be proud of, and we couldn't be more thrilled for the ride that they took us all on.
When you think of the 680 some odd school districts in the state of New York, and Putnam Valley came in too, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, we're lucky to have such special student athletes. Many of these individuals or these girls have been playing together since they were a young age. And it was nice to see them all come together and make it as far as they did. Truly a recognition for the dedication they put into all the preseason and off-season workouts that they endure to be ready for the season.
The district's athletic director stopped by. Let's take a look. Well, Jeremy, it's been quite a season for student athletes in Putnam Valley.
Yeah, we're coming off another very successful winter season, and our spring sports season is already underway.
We have a special guest with us today. Dave Kantrowitz is the athletic director here in Putnam Valley. And Dave, I guess the pinnacle occurred when the Putnam Valley ladies basketball team became the state runner-up champs.
It was an unbelievable run this year. You know, obviously our goal is always to win. We want to win the games. We want to be in the big games. But just watching the team develop over the last 2 years, bringing in a new head coach, having a new influx of players, rebuilding the program, you know, and seeing them be so successful has been so amazing. Our student athletes have done such a great job putting in the work in the gym, outside of practice, working out, and really have just been so committed to the goal of making it to the state finals. To see them actually accomplish it was amazing.
And you know, Jeremy, the thing that I'm sure most people don't realize, that student athletes are students first. And they're out there and they're getting good grades, doing their homework, plus all the extra work involved with the athletic sphere.
Yeah, I think it speaks to Putnam Valley being a really special place where the star athlete may also be an honor roll student, may be the star in the school play, may play an instrument in the band, or have artwork on display in a museum. And I think that speaks to the kind of students we have here in Putnam Valley that are just Renaissance people, good at many things across many different fields, and somehow able to balance all of those things and be successful.
Practice. How often do these athletes practice in the course of a week?
Absolutely. They practice 6 days a week. And just to touch back on the student athlete point that you brought up, our girls basketball team was actually considered a scholar athlete team from the state. And to get that designation, over 75% of athletes on the team have to have a 90 or above GPA. And the team, despite their 6 day a week practice, they met that criteria. It was an outstanding year for them.
You say it's been coming on board now for like the last 2 years. The girls really started to pick things up.
Yeah.
What's the future?
It's the future is bright. We have a great modified team moving into the high school. We have some strong players on the team. We're graduating a few. Eva DeChent, who's the Class B State Player of the Year. She's graduating this year, going on to play Division I at URI. Our head coach for the last 2 years, Coach Hamlin, he's retiring, so this was our last year with him. So it was really special this year to see how far the girls were able to go before we kind of step into the future. But we have a great group of young coaches, teacher coaches who are in the district, in Putnam Valley, who teach our kids in the classroom, who work with them after school, and I think we're going to be in a really good spot come next season.
Now what about the spring sports?
Yes, spring has been off to a great start. Yesterday we had all of our teams competing, and it was one of the few times that I can remember where we won the day. We won in baseball, we won lacrosse, we won girls softball, boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse. We had a full sweep of the day. They're off to a fantastic start. Again, our student athletes have been working all winter long preparing for the spring sports, because after our winter practices finish, the spring teams would come into the wellness center, they'd come into the gym to start preparing and getting ready for the season. So
it's almost year-round.
It's year-round, for sure. But that's how we hit the ground running. Our coaches put in tons of time and tons of face time with our kids, and it pays off when the season comes time.
And you want to thank the parents as well as the coaches for their hard work in allowing their students to take part like this.
Yeah, I know we focused on the girls basketball team, but I think we saw successes across a multitude of sports. Cheerleading, boys and girls wrestling, swimming, just to name a few, track and field. We had student athletes perform up into the state level across sports, and I think it speaks to the dedication of Putnam Valley students and obviously the families that are responsible for making sure that they are where they need to be and preparing them to be successful.
Well, it's going to be a great spring, we can tell now. The Yankees, the Mets, and Putnam Valley, right?
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Dave. Good seeing you again.
Thanks so much.
Dave Kantrowitz, the athletic director here in the Putnam Valley Schools. Jeremy and I will be right back. That, my friend, was a jam-packed show today.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff to share.
We want to thank the TV production class. Putnam Valley might be a small school district in the realm of things, but no other school district in Putnam County has a TV production class and a first-class studio. The Kat Schutz and Dan Mahoney run the class. Some of the students are behind those cameras right now. They do a heck of a job.
Yeah, I think it's just another example of the outstanding faculty and staff we have here in Putnam Valley and the talented students that we have, that we're able to put together a facility like this, have Ms. Schutz and Mr. Mahoney be able to run several different programs out of this space, and have the students that are talented and interested enough to be part of this and to learn a new skill.
And how many of these young people someday might be behind the camera at an NBC or a CBS or an ABC?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've certainly had some students that started their career here in the studio at Putnam Valley High School and moved into professional careers using the same skills that they first learned here.
So once again, we encourage you to vote. Budget Day, May 16th, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., voting at the Putnam Valley Elementary School. Get out and vote. Jeremy, we thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for coming by.
Jeremy Lutz, Superintendent of Schools in the Putnam Valley Schools. My name is Eric Gross. You've been watching Inside Putnam Valley Schools. Be safe until next time. Bye-bye now.